Hi, this is Maginoni, and welcome to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Disappointing. This was a rather difficult week for me because, while there were some good books, they weren't really what I would call stellar. But let's take a look at what we plowed through this week. This week, I'm going to give it to Miss Marvel. Now, I realize that Batman was pretty good, Fantastic Four was really good, but here's the thing: we're dealing with very high-profile books. And in some cases, it's when it's at a consistent level, you can't always give it the good, because it's what it's supposed to be. But Miss Marvel has been one of those stories that's just been consistently interesting. It's new, it's fresh, and I don't think it's getting the love that it really, really, truly deserves. For the most part, what we get here is we get to see Miss Marvel fighting her first, super villainish encounter. She's going to get her first rogue, and at the same time, we get a little bit of her personal life as well. And it's just, like I said, when you look at the artwork and you look at the characters, it's just unlike anything that's on the shelf right now. And I don't know why more people aren't picking this up. Just because, I hear a lot where people just go, well, we're reading the same stories over and over again. Well, when something does come along that's unique and special, you don't take advantage of it. And that's why I think that you guys should definitely take advantage of Miss Marvel. And, while it's not your quite traditional superhero title, that's what makes it fresh. And I think that's what's giving it, I think, what makes this really, truly something that deserves attention. Because we really should support books like this to encourage Marvel and DC to make a greater effort to put out interesting characters rather than a copy and paste of Batman, The Flash, Captain America, and Spider-Man. So anyways, that's my good. My bad is, I struggled to buy this. I was like, should I buy it? Should I not? And I finally just said, okay, I feel like torturing myself, so I'm going to buy it. Okay, first of all, what we have here is this. You have Wolverine talking to Death, and Death is going, well, it's refreshing to have you here because, Thanos is such a stalker and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're making fun of yourself. And they do it a couple other times, and then they also pat themselves on the back going, oh, aren't I clever, 3 months to die. I'm like, no, you're not really clever because this storyline sucks. See, the thing is, even when there's an emotional part with Rose, and it's not emotional, it's just like, I have this tattoo of a rose on me to remind me that's where I start from, and I could become a better person. It's just, okay, well, maybe I can forgive you. Oh, like, really? That quickly you can forgive somebody? Even though you've hated them? And then, they make fun of the revolving door policy with the dead, because they say, well, your son died and you killed him, but he's back again. And, it's this revolving universal thing. And I'm just like going, well, see, that's the problem here. You have this book here called 3 Months to Die. Wolverine's going to die. And inside your own book, you basically say, don't worry, because I'm so freaking clever to kill him, he's going to come back. So don't you worry. And even this whole fight with Sabretooth, it's like, they're talking about Wolverine's fear, and I'm like, oh, really? Now granted, maybe the sudden twist of mortality might cause him to go, a little bonkers. But it's like, why are you so hell-bent to kill Sabretooth when all you're doing is you're going to give yourself a 6 month to a year pause of no Sabretooth? It's like, because he comes back. It's just ridiculous. And, to make this spectacle of this push, it's like, how about this? You don't tell us Wolverine's going to die. And suddenly, he dies. That would be shocking. That would be, be like, whoa, attention grabbing. But 3 months to die, how about this? 15 months until we get Wolverine back on the shelf. That's what this book should be called. Stupid Wolverine book. And these are my disappointments. Okay, let's start here. Original Sins. Okay, the Black Knight was interesting because it's basically saying, well, this girl's like, well, you got a little crazy and this guy's really damaged, and oddly enough, all these people throughout history have this sword and it's corrupted them, but you haven't. And we find out that, yeah, Dane's been corrupted by the sword and he's kind of jacked up. But it's like, how's that I mean, it's a secret, but it's kind of like, you know, you need more, you need a little bit more to it. But that's not the disappointment for me. The disappointment starts going to the Young Avengers. I mean, because this is the Hood. I mean, the Hood was like a Major League Avenger villain who caused a lot of problems. And now he's kind of like comic relief, in a sense, for the Young Avengers. And then you get Howard the Duck, which, you know, don't get me wrong, Howard the Duck's awesome, but it's like, this is a mini-series that's tying in, and I don't think you're doing a good enough job to compel me to really want to keep buying this, especially when the continuing story is the Young Avengers. And I'm just like, no, I'm losing patience quickly. Future's End, on the other hand, is running from the, you've already developed a storyline that's bordering boredom. You know, it's like I could not care at all about the Grifter storyline. You know, it's just, it's uninteresting. It doesn't seem to be really going anywhere other than, well, we're collecting this Grifter guy, so, because he can see aliens. And, you know, Deathstroke's like, well, if he can't do what he's supposed to do, then I'm just going to kill him. And, like, it's kind of like this dialogue that you would normally expect to hear. And it doesn't appear to be any extra thought. Now, the only thing that's really keeping me going here is the Firestorm storyline, where you get mysterious Superman who's like, Firestorm is needed, and you need to, like, get friends again. And he's like, no, because it's not going to happen. And then at the same time, it's like, did Superman just sabotage his science project? And even this, see, the problem here is, while there is something interesting here, it's resolved way too quickly. And on this side of the fence, it's kind of like there's not enough to develop this into something to compel me to want to read it. And then on the other side here, we get this mercenary thing going on, and then you have the space part, where they basically, it's like, you know, if you remember the last issue, Frankenstein lost his arm, so they cut off Hawkman's arm and stick it there. And I'm like, you know, it just goes back to anything that's tragic, or anything that results in something that would be traumatic to a superhero, within the next 12 issues, maybe sooner, it's retconned or reverted back to a normal state. And it's kind of like, you know what, I think I would rather see Frankenstein without an arm for a while. You know, make it part of the story. Don't make it so it's like it's fixed within the next few pages. You know, because it's like, where's the sense of, you know, like they went above and beyond, where's the sacrifice? Where there's nothing. It's like, you know, it's like Wolverine fighting 1,000 ninjas. You know Wolverine's going to win because he can heal himself. So what's the point of telling that story again? Unless you just want to see Wolverine chop up ninjas. But anyways, that's my point is, this is my disappointments. They're tied. Future's End, I don't know. It's one more week, and then I might be checking out. This one, I don't know. I might check out early too. Anyways, that's my good, the bad, disappointing. Let me know what your good and bad and disappointing is. We'll have more reviews later. Like, share, Facebook, Crunchyroll, and I'll have more reviews later.